Hey, Personal Finance. This is how you're going to do the tracking your spending assignment. You are going to use a spreadsheet that I've already created for you, and it's based on the checkbook register that we did early on this semester. You're going to record everything in here, and that will help you to answer the questions and get this math done easier than by doing it by hand. So I'm going to talk you through that process right now. First thing we need to do is read this closely. Directions. A budget allows you to look at your spending versus income. If the amount of spending is more than you earn, changes need to be made. In this activity, you'll evaluate a student's budget and make suggestions to improve his spending and saving habits. The student tracked all of his purchases for 1 month using the following chart. Okay, so here's something important. He works 12 hours a week, earning a net pay of $7 per hour. His parents also give him $15 each week for school lunches. Okay, so the first question in this thing is, how much did the student spend this much? What is his total income for the month? So we're looking at what is his spending, what is his income. So first thing, let's figure out what his income is. So 12 hours per week with a net pay of $7 per hour. Net pay means like after taxes, like what he's actually getting out of that job is $7 an hour. 7 times 12 hours per week. So he gets $84 per week. So I'm going to add that over here. So week 1, he gets $84. And I will just so I'll say paycheck. Paycheck. Okay. And I'm going to say, we'll do that part in a minute. All right. So now we need to add up all of these expenses real quick. So give me a second. I'm going to put those all in there so you don't have to wait for me. And you can do this as we go to, or you can pause yours and do this also right now. Okay, so I put everything in. And I ended up using copy and paste a lot, which made it easier. I copied and pasted the paychecks every week, just like selecting like that, Control C, and then Control V, putting them where they need to go. I was able to copy and paste the lunches and the vending machine each week. And I was also able to copy and paste mom and dad gas, although the amount of each gas deposit is a little bit different. So now we can do some spreadsheet magic, and we can have the spreadsheet do the work for us. So I'm going to come down here. So our first question, actually, let me just focus it that way. First question is, how much did the student spend this month? So we're going to add up all the expenditures from week 1 to week 4. All right, so down here, I'm going to put in a formula. It's going to say equals the sum of, and that's going to have a parentheses, the sum of all of these, like that. Okay, so we're going to say totals. Okay, so he spent a total of $443.50. So now for this one, and actually I'm going to put a line in right here. It's not that. I'm going to go here so it's easy to see. I'm going to make this a nice thick border like that, and I'm going to put it right above there. Okay, so now we can see what the difference is between the spending and the totals. Okay, so that's how much he spent. Now I want to find out how much he earned. So remember, he works a job where he gets $7 an hour, $12 a week, and he also gets $15 for lunches every week. So sum of these, enter. Okay, so he has been making or getting $336 over the course of this month, but he has spent $443.50. So let's put that in there. Yeah, so I'm actually not going to write it on there, but I'm just going to tell you that that's what those numbers are going to be. So are the student's income sources or expenses higher? His expenses are higher than his income sources. He's not doing a good job of budgeting his money. So now we're going to look at what he is actually spending his money on. Are there any items that the student might have paid too much for because of advertising? So let's look at this. So he got movie and snacks at theater are actually pretty cheap. Shoes, maybe he could get cheaper shoes, but it depends on what kind of shoes he needs, right? Books, he should just get like an Amazon Prime subscription or something. I mean, there's definitely easier or cheaper ways to get books. You can get books used, get the digital versions. Dinner at a restaurant, I was super impressed with. He only spent $7 for one dinner and $8 for another dinner. Like, that's like not even possible. You can't spend less than like $10 for dinner at a restaurant for one person plus tip. I mean, sheesh, where's he going? Maybe that's like McDonald's or something. I don't know. Video game. Yeah, if he's paying full price for a video game, but you can get it from GameStop or wherever used for way cheaper than that. Let's see. Music CDs. Who even gets music CDs anymore, right? This was made back in the day when there were music CDs. So he could definitely get those songs, the individual songs that he wants, for a lot cheaper than $28 probably. And that's pretty expensive for a sweater and jeans. He must be going to, someplace fancy to get those. So I would guess that is an advertising thing. Yeah. And then the rest are all things that we've seen before. So what are some items that a student might have paid too much for? Maybe the shoes, maybe the music CDs, maybe the books, maybe the sweater and the jeans. There's a lot of potential things you could write there. Are there any items that could be considered impulse purchases? So impulse purchases, I mean, if he's impulse purchasing at the vending machine every day, that'd be one thing. I mean, it seems like the books and the CDs and the video game. I don't know if this is an impulse or if this is something he's been thinking about a lot. Maybe he's really excited about this video game. Maybe that music CD is something he's been looking forward to for a long time and thinking about. So there's plenty of things here that could be impulse purchases. I'm going to leave that up to you to judge. Let's see about this next one. If the student were to ask you for advice related to his budget, what would you tell him? What are some things he can cut down on or spend differently on or get in a different way? What would you tell him? And can you think of a way for this student to better track his spending, savings, and income? Well, you guys actually made a spreadsheet about it, so that's a really good way to do it. I personally use a budget spreadsheet every single week because it helps me keep track of what bills are coming up due when. It help me budget for our house payment. It helps me budget for groceries. Like, it's really important. And especially if you're trying to save, you got to have an idea of, you've got to plan for that first. And then everything else. So I hope this helps, and I'll see you soon.